If you thought that short rows just looked too complicated, then this is the video for you, because they're actually really simple and I'm going to show you today how to do them. And these are totally beginner friendly. You only need to know how to do a single crochet, a half double crochet and a double crochet. And I'm going to show you ways to modify those stitches to get these invisible looking short row edges. Now I've got two different methods here I'm going to go through today, but both of them use the same technique. They just have slightly different results. So if you want to find out which method of short rows is best for which type of shaping, you can watch that video now. But today I'm going to go over exactly how to do them. So I've got a sample swatch here just made in single crochet stitches to start with, 20 stitches wide, and I'm going to do a few plain rows, and then I'm going to add in 3 short row steps, just 4 stitches in each time, and then show you how to work over the ends. So let's get going. So for this first way of working short rows, I'm working the longest rows first and gradually getting shorter. So here I have a swatch that is 20 stitches wide, and I worked 4 rows of plain single crochet. And then I started my short rows here and I worked 12 stitches, and I left the remaining stitches unworked. I chained 1 and turned and worked simply back. I did not skip over any stitches. And then for this next row I worked 8 stitches. I did a chain 1, turned and worked all the way back, not skipping over any stitches. I'm working all the stitches. So that's why this method is really useful for beginners, because you don't have to worry about counting different numbers of stitches. So I'm going to work one last step. So I chain 1 and turn at this outer edge, and I work 4 for this last step. So 1 single crochet, 2, 3 and 4. Just get the yarn out of the way, and then all I'm going to do is chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to leave the remaining stitches in that row unworked, and I'm going to work a single crochet in each stitch across. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now if your swatch is curling at this point, that's totally normal, so don't worry about it. Now you can see it a little bit better from the wrong side because it's not curling over on itself, but we've got our 3 short rows here where we've simply stopped and turned and gone back the other direction, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. So now we're going to work one last row that goes over all the edges. So we chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work 4 stitches as normal into the tops of these stitches of this last row. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now here is where we have our first step down that we need to account for. So lots of people will tell you to just work a single crochet into the next stitch, but if we just do that, you'll get a hole right there, and it's pulling in the fabric. So let's show you on a bit of paper. If I have a stepped edge like this, and I am simply trying to pull that edge down to meet this edge, what happens is that I get a little bit of a pucker, and you can see the edge is being pulled around, and we don't want that. We want to actually bridge that gap with a taller stitch. So I'm not going to work a single crochet in there, and I'm not going to work a single crochet 2 together either into that stitch, which some people will tell you makes it look a little bit better, and it does, but I think that the best way to do it is to work gradually decreasing heights, and that's going to give you the smoothest line. So where I'm currently working, I am 2 rows higher than this row here. So instead of a single crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet to get right down. But if I just do a double crochet in this next stitch, you can see again that it's the right height, but I've got a big hole. So what I'm going to do is a linked stitch, and this is where I'm going to link this stitch to the previous ones. So I've got my 2 row ends here, and the next stitch I'm going to work. So for a linked stitch, all you need to do is replace your yarn over that would come at the beginning of a double crochet by pulling up a loop in this row end here, and that's going to link your double crochet to these row ends here. So I'm going to find anywhere in approximately halfway down and insert my hook. Yarn over and pull up a loop. So this is replacing the first yarn over we would do for a double crochet. So it's linking my stitch to the previous rows. And then I insert my hook into the next stitch to work a double crochet as normal. So I pulled up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So there's my double crochet, and I don't have that hole anymore. Now to go down again between a double crochet and a single crochet is a half double crochet, and just the same way I did the double crochet, I'm going to make it a linked half double crochet so that we don't get any hole. So this one here, the double crochet, has a nice horizontal bar, so that's an easy place we can pick up a loop. So instead of yarning over for a half double crochet, I'm going to insert my hook from the top down through that bar, yarn over and pull up a loop. This replaces the first yarn over of my half double. Now I'm going to work into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. So there's my linked half double. So now I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to work my single crochets as normal. So that's gone over the first row edge, and you can see here you almost can't see at all where the stitches have changed height. So we've come to our next step down, and we're going to do exactly the same. So instead of yarning over for a double crochet that's going to be worked into here, I'm going to pick up a loop halfway here. So I'm going to insert my hook, pick up a loop, and then I'm going to insert my hook in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now instead of the half double crochet in the next stitch, I'm going to do a linked half double, which means I'm going to insert my hook in this horizontal bar, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then work the rest of that half double crochet stitch into the next stitch. So that's my linked half double. Now I've got 2 remaining stitches to work my single crochets as normal. And now I've come to this last step here. I'm going to do exactly the same as I have before. I'm going to insert my hook in the edges of these rows here and pull up a loop. This is the next stitch to work into. I insert my hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that completes my linked double crochet. Then I'm going to do a linked half double crochet in the next stitch. So I go from the top through this horizontal bar, yarn over and pull up a loop. This replaces the yarn over that I would do at the beginning of a half double crochet. Put my hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. So there's my linked half double, and now I can finish the remaining 6 stitches with my single crochets as normal. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's just do this last one here, number 6. And you can see here we've got a really neat edge for our short rows, and the edge of the fabric here is barely pulling round, whereas on the other samples where we would have done a single crochet 2 together perhaps, that would have pulled the edge around. So here we've got a much neater edge. We've got a really neat top edge that just works gradually down, and you can barely see where we've stopped and turned. So that's the first method for doing short rows using single crochet stitches. So now I'm going to put this to one side, and let's have a look at the second method. And this method is where we're going to work the shortest row first, gradually going over and back again, each time getting longer. So it's just kind of the opposite way round of those ones we've just worked. So again, I have a swatch here that is 20 stitches wide. Just for reference, I'm using a 5.5mm hook with DK weight yarn. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn. and I'm going to start with my shortest row. So I'm going to start with just 4 stitches. I chain 1 and turn. So these I'm working exactly the same way as I did the other short rows, just in reverse order. So I'm working 4 stitches here to the edge. Then I'm going to chain 1 and turn and work back, and I want to work over this edge and work 4 more stitches. So let's start with our four single crochets, if I can get the hook in. So they go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So exactly the same way we did the others, we're going to go gradually down by decreasing our stitch height slowly. So we're going to work a linked double crochet in this first row end. So we insert our hook and pull up a loop, which replaces the first yarn over. The next stitch to work into is this one here. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's our linked double. Now we're going to do a linked half double in this next one. So we've got this horizontal bar halfway up the double crochet. We're going to insert our hook under it and pull up a loop, and this replaces the first yarn over of the half double. Insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3. And now I'm going to do 2 more single crochets because that's our additional 4 stitches worked for that second step. I'm going to chain 1 and turn and work back up. Now when I work back up, I don't need to change my stitch heights. I'm just working regular single crochets all the way up. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you don't need to change the stitch counts at all. We're not skipping anything or adding any extra stitches. So now I'm working back down again. I'm going to be working my 8 single crochets and then going over the next edge. So there's my 8th single crochet here. I have my edge. I'm going to insert my hook and pull up a loop. Insert my hook in the next stitch to complete this linked double crochet. Oops, went through too many. Yarn over, pull through 2. So that's my linked double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook in this bar here, pull up a loop and work a linked half double crochet. And then again, I'm going to work just 2 more single crochet for this next step in our staircase. So 1 and 2, and now I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to work all the way back up again to the outer edge, just working regular single crochets. So there's 12 stitches, our 3rd step edge completed, and now we're going to work back down, working over that end again. So single crochet all the way back down for 12 stitches. 11 and 12. We've got the last edge to work over, so I'm going to work a linked double crochet through here. So let's insert the hook halfway down the side and pull up a loop, and then insert the hook in the next stitch. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull up a loop in this horizontal bar of the double crochet to work our linked half double crochet in the next stitch. And now we can complete the row working regular single crochets. And 6. So there we go. We have this wedge here, and just the same as the other sample, it's a really neat edge. You can barely see it, and we've got a nice straight line on this side too. It's not pulling and it's not puckering any of the stitches. Now that you've mastered the technique of short rows, if you'd like to learn exactly which method to use for which kind of shaping, you can watch the next video coming up on your screen now.